Hey out there, this is golf instructor Steve Bishop, and today's lesson is going to be for Matt. I just did a quick analysis for him on swingacademy.com, and one of the things that I saw with his golf swing that I actually see in a lot of players, Matt's actually fairly successful at it because he has a very, very strong hard release, so he's got a couple of compensations that he helps to kind of maneuver around it, and a lot of players have these type of compensations too. But really, what we should do is try to get rid of the element that's really causing the problems. And I've been on a tear recently because it seems like almost everybody has a lack of tilt. A lot of people have. There's basically this thing called secondary axis tilt, where the hips start to move in front while the head stays back behind. And you can achieve this secondary axis tilt one of two ways. Either the hips go forward while the head stays where it's at, or the head dips backwards while instead of staying where it's at. Okay? I really don't like the idea of the. As a matter of fact, this is a death move to have the head go back. Okay? You don't want the head to move back away. You actually want the head to stay. Once you get it set in the backswing, you actually want it to stay relatively still while the hips are the thing that shift forward. Now notice that my body is still rotating pretty symmetrically. My shoulders and my hips are really kind of rotating together. But what happens is that the shift of the weight starts with the hips going forward, okay? And this shift of the hips really begins with what I call right side push, okay? It's this right knee and right hip kicking towards the toe of my left foot. It's very important that you have the direction of the kick proper, because you don't want it kicking inside towards the left, okay? You don't want it kind of doing that, because what that actually does is it causes you to slide too much. And you don't want the kick to go out kind of towards the golf ball, because that'll take away your tilt going, tilting over the golf ball. You don't want to get rid of this tilt either. So what you really have to do is, once you get your head and your upper body set in the backswing, you got to really push with the right knee towards the toe of your left foot, and that's going, and keeping your head back here like this is what's going to create that tilt. And you can see that I have this good amount of tilt here like this, right? And you need that. You want to make sure that you get back to your backswing, and you can kind of see my tilt here. If I can get it right in the camera here. Okay, you got this tilt there, and the hips just kind of drive forward, and that drive forward is going to then carry the arms basically forward, kind of like you probably have seen in that Hogan video, right? Where the hips really, you start from the top, you drive the hips, okay? And the body turns together, but the arms are basically being carried along for the ride. And then what happens is the arms finally release, and that release pulls the upper body forward towards the target and forces you to then finish on your left side, okay? But really, again, the motion is to push off with the right side first. And I really like the idea of feeling a lot of pressure on basically, I'm going to lift up my foot. Everybody can see my foot here. Hey, look at that. Okay? I want the inside of the ball of your right foot is basically a really heavy pressure point. You're really going to feel like you're pushing off that particular point. Okay? And it's not a lift up. It's not like you're going to lift your knee up. It's really just kind of rolling inside and putting a lot of pressure on the instep of your right foot. And that's going to drive your hips forward. That's going to still initiate the turn that we really want. But the bottom line is you've got to have that push. You've got to have that tilt in your golf swing in order to facilitate your right shoulder kind of moving down and your arms being carried down into the golf ball from the inside.